Hello everyone. Now today we are going to see the assembly line for car manufacturing or any other commercial vehicle manufacturing. Okay, so what are the steps that are followed for the car manufacturing process? So first of all, there will be chassis assembly. But before the chassis assembly, the chassis it has been prepared in the welding shop or as per the process sheet line given on the process sheet. Then afterwards, that parts they are being sent to the paint shop, and from that paint shop, for the assembly purpose, now that parts they have been welded either by spot welding or by robot welding or by using SPPM, that is special purpose machine. On that machine, this chassis is being prepared. So the next step after the paint shop is the chassis assembly. In this chassis assembly, the front rear axle, then the engine assembly, that is powerhouse, then the transmission, all these parts they have been attached to the chassis on this chassis assembly line. After the chassis assembly line, the next line is the trim line. Means here the trim line and the chassis line they are followed simultaneously. So what is happening in this trim line? The body of the vehicle or the car, the body of the vehicle or the car, it is been taken from the paint shop and laid on the trim line. So on this trim line, what are the process that are performed on that body? That here fitting of the glass, then fitting of the inner shell, then fitting of the console, then all fitting of the electrical equipments, they have been done on this trim line. Then gripper hands also, then lamps also, head lamps and all other part, grip handle. Okay. So this process is taking place in the trim line. Then after the chassis line, trim line, as they are following the path same simultaneously, then the last second part is the assembly line. So what is happening in this assembly line? Here the chassis is been coming from this chassis line, and from the trim line, for top body of the car or the vehicle is coming from that side. And whole both of this chassis and body, they have been assembled in this assembly line. So in this assembly line, all the electrical connections they have made. Then afterwards, filling the fuel tank also is taking place in this assembly line. Then the cross connections or checking the brakes is also taking place in this part. Then the then the oil level, then the coolant level is also checked in this assembly line. And finally, on the dynamometer, the speed means the emission test is also taking place for the assembly line. Means you have to just measure what is the percentage of carbon monoxide, the nitrogen, and other hazardous gas that are present in the emission. And if they are not under control, then the engine is being replaced by the other engine. So what these processes are taking place in the assembly line. In the assembly line also, the check-in and check-out means either you can just set the caster angle of the vehicle wheel of the vehicle, and also the wheel alignment is also done on this assembly line. So all these processes are taking place on this assembly line. After this, the vehicle is been taken for the road testing. Then the person means that vehicle is taken on the different road tracks so as to check its toughness. Then after that, it has been tested for the leak test. Means it is that vehicle has been taken to the rainwater test, where the leak test has been taken. And finally, the PDI. PDI means what? Pre-delivery inspection testing is done by that person. And after taking the pre-delivery inspection, in that pre-delivery inspection, a vehicle noise, then suspension test, then any other noise which is coming from the gearbox or from the engine, then the vehicle stability, then the braking action, then particularly your vibration mode means suspension, that all these systems has been certified in this PDI test. That PDI is nothing but pre-delivery inspection test. And then after doing it, if the vehicle is confirmed, means if there is no any failure, then the OK certification tag is done on the glass front shield of the vehicle. And then that the vehicle is been passed for the, means it has been transferred to the supplier. Thank you.